Business Mentor Talks is vlogged by no other, Armando Boots Bartolome, in cooperation with the Manila Times. It aims to bring to life and recognize entrepreneurs who constantly strive to create a living for the community as well. Listen to the Business Mentor Talks with Boots Bartolome.
This Business Mentor Talks, which is every Sunday, and today is Sunday. And as again, we always say Sunday is a time for learning. And today, we have no other than a good friend of ours, Miss Faye Arellano Martinez. How are you? Happy Sunday, Faye. How are you?
Happy Sunday, Sir Boots. Thank you very much for inviting me today for this talk in one of your sessions. Maraming salamat.
Yes, yes. And alam mo, it's a pleasure. Alam ko, you're busy. Everybody's busy. And everybody's trying to make a living, but Sunday nga nila is a time for recollection, reflection, di ba? So I'm taking advantage of your few minutes of our time to share with our viewers. So tell me, Faye, who is Faye Arellano Martinez? Tell us.
Faye Arellano Martinez, I am a graduate and a very proud alumna of University of Santo Tomas and the College of Communication Arts. I'm also a multilingual. I could speak both English, Tagalog, and Bahasa Indonesia. So that's why majority of my clients are from Indonesia as well. And I think for some who could actually speak the Malay language. Because I grew up there when I was in my younger years. So that's why I'm very actually that was my first language out of everything else.
So you are actually multilingual. In other words, people you can relate, no? And I think that's something very critical to some people like you who are an entrepreneur, who are a full service agency, and people will be able to relate, no? Rather than get a translator, right? But tell us about AQA. Tell me about what is the beginning of the AQA.
Okay. The story behind AQA, it's actually an acronym of my father's name. It's named after him, called Apollo Q Arellano. So my dad is, when we came back here to the Philippines, and so I wanted to set up my own advertising agency. And who am I? Nobody knows me, diba? So during that time, my father has already been directing Home Along the Release that time. And a lot of the people in the industry know him as the director and writer of John and Marsha, Body and Soul, producers of Superstar. Actually, there's so many. And he's been doing that. And also, he did also Midnight DJ and TV5. So, name it. My mom and my dad are already known in the industry here, in the entertainment industry. So, I maximize and utilize my father's name, AQA, as the company name itself. So, the name of the company is AQ Advertising, but we call ourselves AQA. And we started humble beginnings. We started in the garage of my house. It was just a group of our friends, and then of course in my family. But entrepreneurship is not a bed of roses. I mean, it doesn't mean that when you started, meron ka na kaagad. I had my own fair share of hardship. So this is not my first company. I had my first company with a group of friends, and it didn't work out. I mean, everybody could have just given up. But to me, I felt really down, demoralized. But then I mean, there's like this whisper in my ear and saying, "No, kaya mo yan. Go ahead, just do it. Try again. Never give up." So I did. I tried setting up another agency once again, and true enough, we've been around. It's already on our 20. It's our 20th year, going to our 21st year already for 2024.
Yeah, but I'm so intrigued. But what you said, you gave it a first shot, you failed. You migrated back to the Philippines, and who are you? I mean, you have to find your roots. Just like para yung mga OFWs natin, di ba? Parang ganun din. Ako, yun ang feeling ko, no. Na I came back to the Philippines, I got uprooted. You uprooted yourself to migrate, and then when you return to the country, you are uprooted again. No, you have to establish your roots. No, and but again, there's always something, an essence. No, why did you ever get up? Yan. Kasi some people nowadays, di ba, Faye, pag bagsak ang negosyo, ayoko na, talo pikon, di ba, sabi natin. But what made you really push yourself? You're like a Rocky Balboa, uh, short of dancing, and
Correct. Well,
what
actually,
made you stand up?
well, before I set up my own company, the first thing my father asked, Anak, it's not easy to set up your own business. And then he asked me, why? A simple question: why do you want to set up your own business? I only answered three things. I want to wake up at my own time. I want to hire my own people, and of course, I want to provide jobs for more Filipinos. Because during that time, ang taas ng unemployment eh. And I didn't want to be one of the biggest. I did not aspire to be one of the multinationals. I just want a piece of a pie. And during my lowest, and I said to myself, I just gave myself time to rest. Maybe, when this is something I would tell in all of my Go Negosyo talks. If you're partnered with family or friends, but that money is involved, there's no assurance that everything will work out accordingly. So I set it up first with a group of my friends. When money's involved talaga, nagbabagong kulay ng mga tao. And
Mm-hmm.
I did not take that against them. Actually, when I set up my own agency, the agency that I set up with them was still around. But then soon enough, they actually closed because a group of those people who left with me, including my husband, and that's the first business that my husband and I did. He actually joined me in the new company I built with him. So, and I just saw that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's no giving up. Kasi I'm not a quitter kasi, Sir Boots. I think it's really a personality of my end. If I get into something, I want to go pursue it at the end. Unless me, myself, will really be the one disheartened and say, okay, tama na. But then, I didn't eh. Parang feeling ko, I mean, this is nothing. I mean, I used to be a varsity player, so when it's a buzzer beater. So, alam mo,
Uh-huh.
sabi namin when we're playing as an athlete, mga games in the varsity team, they said, until there's the buzz, that's you can still fight. So, in games that I would play for basketball or for volleyball back in my days, hanggat hindi pa nagta-time, you can still make it. I mean, there are times that we're like, what, 30 points back behind, and then at the end of the game, we won. I mean, those are miracles that could happen. So, to me, there's always never giving up personality. So, sa akin, but I don't want to say it's for all, ha? Kasi not everybody has the same mindset, eh. But for me, I do not quit eh. Even during
Yeah.
the pandemic, when everybody was closing down their shops, closing
Oh.
down their companies, I said to myself, when all of my friends were saying, hindi ka ba magsasara? I said, no, why should I? I mean, at the end of the day, if there is chaos, there's opportunity in chaos also.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Mm-hmm.
mindset.
Yeah, but alam mo, believe ako, like even your full service agency right now, I was so intrigued by what you have been saying there right now. We create uniqueness. No client is small, no client is big. Why what made you write all this? Ang dami, no?
Yes.
You want to share a little bit of some?
Okay.
Ang dami
Our
nakasulat eh.
mindset kasi is no client is never too small and no client is never too big. We're not a very big agency, Sir Boots.
Mm-hmm.
We're just very fortunate and lucky that majority of our clients are being referred to us. Mas pressured actually yun.
Mm.
So when just to give you a backstory, if you're familiar with the Kopiko candy,
Yes.
so when they started, they were just a candy back then, and they were supposed to liquidate and close shop. And they're not a very big company. And now When they started with us, they don't have that big budget. To the point that my brother was part of the very first commercial. Libre lang ang bayad sa kanya kape. I mean, at the end of the
pwede mo
day,
lang mag-extra tayo dyan, ha?
I mean, they were an upcoming company. I mean, it was one way for us because it's an Indonesian brand and Indonesia is really our second home. So it was one way for us to help. Pati nga doon sa isang kong kliyente, there was this campaign. Wala silang model for a print ad. So me and my cousin who was part of kami noon, kami ang naging print ad model. At walang bayad din.
Wow.
I mean, it was something for us to help them. But at the end of the day, they were a very small company, and now I'm very fortunate that brands like Copico, who made it here in the Philippines, an Indonesian brand, is one of the biggest already, and a
Mhm.
lot of the brands are really making it. I mean, I'm not saying that all of the other brands who come in, they'll make it here. It's more on the mindset also of our clients that they listen to the local agency. That it doesn't mean that whatever happens in whatever country it is from, you can just mirror it in the Philippines. It's not. You have to understand the culture of the country, the language, the mindset, the buying habits. All of these things have to take in consideration before you actually create a campaign. And I think that is something now we hope to impart to our clients when they're here and they want to venture in the Philippine market.
Tell me, Faye, for the micro small entrepreneurs, they have this mindset na, I cannot afford that. I cannot afford a full service agency. They always have that paralyzing mindset na you want to grow, but you don't want to grow. No? Parang ganon. Have you encountered this? Like you mentioned about that coffee company, that Copico, started small, but it went up and collaborated with you. So how
Yeah.
can you entice the MSMEs to not just hit and run, like in the digital world right now, they just hit and hit, but they always miss. Paano natin i-switch na yung mindset nila to really get the professionals to really do it for them and to
Okay.
help?
For the first question, sir, Mayora in the Philippines was just starting up. But in Indonesia, they're already a conglomerate. So they already had deep pockets. So in other words, when they came in, the budget was very limited. So they also had a mandate. So when you compare that to a micro and small here in the Philippines, was nothing or from scratch. Two different yan eh. So for Copico and for them, conglomerate brought to the Philippines a small company. So at the end of the day, they know that they have budget. For those that I mentor for Go Negosyo or for the association part of it, when they started their micro and small, I feel for them because number one, they don't have deep pockets. Number two, they fear as though that all of their savings might go to waste or they've
Mhm.
already ventured into it and it failed. I mean, I heard stories or horror stories from others. They went to an agency, they invested. A friend of mine did that, and like gave 2 million pesos or whatnot, and it did not reap ROI for her. And at the end of the day, sana kung she spent 2 million, maski sana she earned 2,100,000. At least man lang bumalik, di ba?
Yes,
But it
yes.
didn't, and ni cinco, wala. So, I understand the sentiments of these entrepreneurs, or micro or small, that had their life savings for many years gone to waste. Ganun lang talaga. So, sometimes I have to understand where they're coming from. More often than not, for micro and small, their mindset really is, this is hard-earned money. If I can do it on my own, I'll do it on my own. That's the mindset kasi nila. Kung
Oo,
kaya ko, para hindi na gumastos, ako na lang. And
correct.
in the advertising, marketing, or digital, some of them will say, ako na lang gagawa, ako na lang mag-picture, ako lang gagawa ng copy, ako na. They will end up doing it on their own. But at the end of the day, they only see few steps ahead. They do not see the bigger picture.
Yes.
So, when you're doing marketing, you're not planning just for a few months, a few
Mhm.
days, a few weeks. You're planning what will be at the end of the tunnel. What is my KPI? What is my ROI? How do I envision my company and my brand? And when you see that goal, Now you put your steps back. What strategy should I do to meet that end goal? So those are the things that you're hiring for. This is something I tell my clients. You pay good money for those who can actually do the conversions for you. But I'm not saying all agencies can do that. Because
Correct.
to me, I've heard some of my clients who went to AQA or any other company that they used to be in an agency, and a lot of things happened to them. And I would know, and they're like big agencies, they're known agencies. But at the end of the day, that's business for them. For me, my clients are also my family, and
Correct.
for those who've been with us, I have clients who've been. I mean, if for the 20 plus years we've been in AQA, it's been around. I have clients who've been with us 15 years na, 14 years na.
Yeah.
Nandun, it's still with us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oo.
employees, I even have employees na 18 years na, 15 years.
Mm.
I mean, they've been around. So, the idea of the way we care for the family is that when you take care of your people grow along with you. A company
Correct.
is not built by one; it's built by a team.
Correct.
And the same for brands. The brand itself is not built just because they have deep pockets. I mean, you think of weird ways just to spend their money. If I do that, they will not last long with an agency. So, ang mindset
Mhm.
ko, if you grow, we grow with you. You know,
Oh, true,
concept for
true.
that.
Yeah, that's good, because nowadays it's not people just pera, di ba? I mean, nowadays you have to have a collaboration, you have to understand each other, and you have to treat each other as persons, no? Not
Yeah.
as somebody with the dollar sign or the peso sign, ganon. But tell me now, the how would Faye balance your life as a wife to Direct Bards and as a mother to Michael and working with AQA and involved with so many associations like PCCI Quezon City, you were just inducted last month, and now Philippine Marketing Association. How how would you really balance your life? I mean, where do you take that energy, Faye?
I'm grateful for my team. At the end of the day, I have really indefatigable team, definitely. For to running the company, we're five siblings. Actually, we're seven in total. Only five is here in the earth, and two in heaven. So there are
Uh-huh.
twin brothers. So I have my brothers and sister helping us in the family business. So when you look at it, I may be the co-founder and CEO, but I have my siblings and my family and my kumares and my relatives and my cousins who are also part of the business that helps also look after the business. And I think that is one of the key points there as well, that we can run as the company together. Second, in terms of being a wife, in the company, I am the boss, and my husband is the boss of his own department. But this is a rule I wish to share to all women out there who's very domineering and empowered. If you are the boss of the company, let him be the boss when it comes to family. I have a rule that we have, me and my husband. If it's about the company, the decision will come from us as a management. And at the end of the day, as the CEO, the last say will end up becoming with us, the family. Now, but when it comes to the family, our family, with our son. Our son's name is Miracle. He really is a miracle baby.
Oh, miracle.
Yeah,
Oh,
and his
okay.
nickname is Akel. He had a twin when I had him, but the twin did not push through, so it was just Miracle. So for me, my husband, we spend time with each other. So there is a rule for us as much as possible. If we cannot do it every week, at least once a month, there should be a me time for both of us. Parang feeling namin forever kaming teenagers or single. So there's a time
Yeah.
that we have, we always remind ourselves. And this is something that me and my husband, I actually, parang ang relationship, ginawa ko siyang marketing plans or books. Nung ginawa ko yung when me and my husband are saying, for all of the times we've been together, we've actually only argued or had a fight twice in our entire lives. All of my friends were asking me, how did I do it? And my husband was talking to his friends. I said, put it on a piece of paper. Di ba? May SWOT analysis tayo. Ang ginawa ko naman, sir, different. Tell me what you love about me. Tell me what you like about me. Tell me what irritates you and tell me what you hate about me. Because in relationships, I've noticed, it's always akala ko, okay lang. It's always the ifs.
Yes.
Akala ko, okay lang sa'yo yun. Akala ko. It's always the ifs. So to me, it's clear as day. When I had that on the first time, I said, I did not know you didn't like what I'm doing. I did not know you get irritated with all of these small things. Because to me, I assumed it was okay. But when we
Mm-hmm.
actually wrote down on a piece of paper, all right, now I understand. So when the second time that we had an argument, we just updated that list and then we just kept it in our wallets in our pocket. So it's something that we do for relationships to work because
Mm-hmm.
to me it cannot be always on the what ifs and then assumption. So I'm very straightforward because Sister Boots it. I tell my husband this is how I feel, this is what I want, and then he will do the same. It's I don't like assuming. I don't like I will not talk about it now. Let's let it go. Mahirap. Mahirap yun. But if ever we
Correct.
do have our arguments, I just don't talk. We just let it, calm down first, then we talk the next day. I mean, I think that's for me, that's healthy. And then for me and my son, me as our parents, because our son goes to Waldorf. So, as parents, when during the pandemic and after the pandemic, we want to bring our son to school every morning. Sana, I mean, it was a wish. There was a time at the very first part, but once hectic na opisina and everything else, we don't get to bring our son in the school anymore. And I noticed that our son really wants to bond with us. So, as much as possible, we spend time with him, even after school. That's why in our office, I hope you get to visit our office, Sir Woods. The
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
design of the office is there's a nursery. So I don't know if other companies has done this. So in our office, we have a nursery because we saw that there is an influx of absences for employees because walang yaya.
Correct.
Wala akong yaya also that time. So, ako, ang ginawa ko, may nursery. So, if ever me and my husband goes to work, we can have our son stay in the nursery. He can play there. He can sleep there if he wants. And then if it's lunchtime, we have lunch together. Then he goes back to the nursery. So that was one way for us to spend time. And so far, some of our employees also bring their kids. It became so, how do I say it? Natuwa sila eh. They said, for those people who visit our office, they've never had an office that allowed their kids, to be part of that. So
Mm.
it was one way for me to empower some of the women. I'm a women empowerment advocate. Then ako
That's
mismo
true.
hindi ko magawa, di ba?
Totoo yun. But again, tell us about our audience here, about the Philippine Marketing Association. How relevant is the Philippine Marketing Association now in this field of entrepreneurship, in these young people now growing to become, the people who will be part of the working force? What is now the advocacy of PMA?
Okay. Philippine Marketing Association is association really catered to the industry of marketing. So it's more on providing information and knowledge, not just for their current members, but for non-members as well. Now,
Mhm.
the advocacy really is to be able to educate. For example, I'm a marketing person in this company and I want to learn. They become a member of PMA. And at the same time, they get to do mentorship, they get to build relationships. Some of them become my clients, some of them became our suppliers, some of them became our collaborators and partners. So it also broadens your horizon. But over and above Philippine Marketing Association, I'm also part of other association as well. So I'm also part of PCCIQC, Philippine Chamber of Commerce, where I met you also, Sir Boots,
Yeah, right,
in
right.
Quezon City. So to me, I love being around entrepreneurs who are already have the vision of growing their company and creating great relationships. But since I'm also a Philippine delegate, I'm also part of a women groups, which is Network for Enterprising Women, who are the micro and small businesses when we're starting out. That's the very first association I was part of, which is a women empowered group. And I'm also part of the Philippine Young Entrepreneurs Association, where young entrepreneurs are there. I'm still considered young, but there in a few years, parang feeling ko hindi na.
Nobody's old. Nobody's old. It's all. it's all in the mind. You know, everybody
Yes.
is young, young at heart,
Correct. It's all
right?
actually
So,
the mind. So for those who are actually interested to join these associations, I'll give the link to Sir Boots so you can be part of that. But more importantly is I'm one of the incoming board directors for the Philippine Marketing Association, and
no,
it's on
thank
our
you.
70th year. And
Wow.
also since it's our 70th year, we're very fortunate the Philippines will be launching the World Marketing Convention and Conference here in the Philippines. So we will have
Oh,
countries of a lot of marketers will be from different countries will be coming here to the Philippines on the Q4. So we're very fortunate that on the 70th year of PMA, we will be hosting that particular event. So I hope I can invite everyone. Look forward to those events, and I
yes.
hope that you'll be able to learn a lot in terms of marketing. For those micro and small, this is the best opportunity for you to actually mingle with the gurus and senseis of marketing.
Yeah, right, right. Oh, yung ganda niyan, ha? Magandang update yan, ha? This will happen in quarter four, right?
That's
Q4, right?
correct. I will
So,
definitely send you an
send,
invite, Sir
yeah,
Boots.
send us details so that we can more or less help, especially the MSMEs. You know, you really have to uplift them and say, hey, kaya
That's
natin to.
true.
Kung kinaya ni Faye, kaya rin ninyo, di ba? So, last thing, give me at least three takeaways for micro small entrepreneurs who really are probably starting their business for about 1 or 2 years, and those who are probably struggling, you know, I mean, trying to, you know, they're still going around the vicious cycle. How can they uplift themselves?
Okay. I think for the very first question, for those who currently are a startup, I always inform them to those people I mentor in Go Negosyo. What is your product? Who is your market? And can your market afford it? Those are the three things I tell them. And then once they know that, the next question I ask, where are you selling your product? Is it just for the immediate community or is it for the nationwide scale? With the advent of technology, Sir Boots, we're very fortunate for e-commerce. I think that's one of the tip I could share to all of our micro and small. Maximize the e-commerce platform that the Philippines currently have. Because for those who buys a lot of things online, it's way cheaper or much more affordable. But you also have to compare, because sometimes it's not an actual product that
That
you're
you see.
actually
Totoo
receiving it.
yan. Totoo
You
yan.
know,
Yan.
perception versus reality
Oo,
and
oo.
expectations versus reality. I mean, they would show all of these images, and there's really horror stories that they're showing a blouse of this nice, and then what it came to, it was a kid size. So, alam mo talaga, so those are the things you have to consider. Now,
Correct.
these are things that they have to understand. And sometimes when I ask them, is this what your market wants? Now, those who are struggling, I ask them, what's the pain points? Ano yung gusto mong mangyari? Because sometimes there's so many worries, that all
Mm-mm.
of these worries ends up blocking the real objective of the business.
Totoo.
Sometimes I encountered a negosyante. Sabi niya, nagtitinda siya sa karinderya. I mean, kariton.
Mm.
And then she's just in front of the house. And then she's asking, ito pong negosyo ko, I just open it up, and this is not a permanent place that I do. And the first thing I asked, Mommy, ikaw lang ba ang nasa negosyo? Sabi niya, yes. The next question I asked, do you have kids? And then how old are they? And when I found out that their kids are in their 20s, that they have
Mm.
buhat-buhat lang. Sabi ko, Mommy, ang mga anak niyo po ba may smartphone? So when I asked them, yes, mommy, meron po. Okay. Mahilig po ba sila mag-online shopping? And they said, yes. Mommy, ang tip ko sa mga anak niyo, lahat ng binibenta niyo ngayon sa Kariton, picturean niyo lang po. Ask your children to create a page, sell it online. You have a physical store with you and have your kids take care of your online store. At kung may
Sure.
mag-order, hindi lang po ang order po, nahirap kayo sa harapan because you're only marketing to a community which is just dumadaan lang.
Totoo.
Marketplace as a global space.
Totoo.
This is
Right.
the metaverse already that we're looking at. And true enough, because we shared each other's numbers, sabi ni Mami, Ma'am, basta maraming salamat, may nag-order po. Una, 10-10 lang, umaabot na daw ng 20. Before, ang benta niya sa isang item na yun, maswerte na daw siya pag nakakasampo. Sa
Correct.
online, maswerte na daw siya. Ang pinakamababa niya ay 10. So to
Wow.
me, it
Galing.
now became another opportunity for growth. At ang sinabi ko lang, Mami, make sure, let your kids be involved. Because yan po ang nagpapakain sa inyo at sabi niyo, yan po ang nagpapaaral sa mga bata. Teach them how to make your business grow so that you can put food on your table. So at least at the end of the day, it became an advice that she's very grateful. I'm very grateful. That's one of my advocacy. I
Mm-mm.
really want to help small brands or micro and small. That's why I go mentorship. Because the knowledge that my clients are paying us in dollars. And these are knowledge that not I've gathered through the years. Sometimes I just don't understand lang, Sir Boots. For those who actually Filipinos, and not in general, they already have a preconceived mindset of how the
Mm.
market of the Philippines works. And to them, hindi na kailangan mag-evolve. Hindi na kailangan, hindi, ginawa na namin to eh. Hindi, okay na to. We've been doing it for 10 years. We've been doing it for 8 years. It works. True enough, maybe. But with the evolution of technology, they too have to evolve. You know what's one thing that doesn't, it's really encompassing for all? It's change. That's something you cannot really avoid. And then I always tell them what's something you cannot take back? It's time.
Correct.
So even if what we're talking right now, sir, but I cannot bring back 10 minutes from now. And that's
Mm.
something I cannot bring back. And I tell these people that I'm very, very particular ako sa oras. Very particular talaga ako. And every time I see an innovation, I put that in my mind back. Check. I could probably use this idea in the future. And probably for a brand. So that's to me how I would advise our micro and small and struggling entrepreneur. Just think of ways how to grow and never give up. Just it. Don't
Yan
give up.
ah. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, you heard in a short span of time a mindset that is hindi mabibili, and that's coming from Faye Marie Arellano Martinez. Wow. Again, catch her sa Philippine Marketing Association, catch her in Philippine Association, Philippine Chamber of Commerce, PCCI Quezon City, and also Go Negosyo. We're always there. Alam mo, si Faye and I also share with hundreds and 800 mentors this common advocacy. We are not we are volunteers, di ba? We don't get paid, but we are there to share. Kumbaga, may time tayo for work, may time tayo for family, may time naman tayo for advocacy. Okay? Faye, it has been such a wonderful time. Really, I can't I can't encompass everything. But for those who are watching this, please follow the article that about Faye. Okay, yan. Pag nakita niyo yan, mako-correlate nyo na kung ano pinagsasabi niya. Okay?
Okay,
So,
maraming
Faye,
salamat, Sir Boots, for even making time and inviting me in your show. I'm very much honored. And I hope
correct.
for the listeners and your followers, I hope they will be able to pick up a few ideas to help their business grow. Maraming salamat, Sir Boots.
Okay,
Thank
as they
you.
say in
Thank you so much.
Bahasa, terima kasih.
Terima kasih
Uh,
banyak, Bapa Boots.
wow,
Sampai
ang galing
kita-kita mo lagi pa.
Okay, thank you very much, Faye. And again, more power to AQA and more power to the family. Okay,
Thank you so
especially
much.
Miracle. I want, I really want. I'm so touched by that. Things come as a blessing, talaga. You never
It
can
is.
tell, but always have that faith, di ba? That
True,
faith
true.
in God. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
Sir
much,
Boots.
Faye. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.